Hi everybody, I'm Corinne Blackstone and welcome to my craft room. I'm so happy to have you here today. In today's tutorial, I'm going to be showing you a couple of different things to create your own fun designs within Cricut Design Space. I'm going to show you how to make this little feelin' lucky design, and in order to make this, you're going to learn everything from grouping and ungrouping letters, how to use your different text and install fonts from other sources, plus how to use font duos, and even how to line this up because you can see we used a bunch of different colors. I'm also going to show you how you can cut all your colors on one mat to just make life so much easier. This is the perfect project for some HTV scraps, or you could even make this with vinyl if you wanted to. It's really easy. We're going to add the shamrock and the little bow to the words, so we're also going to use things like unite and weld. I can't wait to show you how to do this. I think it's going to be a lot easier than you think, and what's great is you can take the skills that you're going to learn in this video and apply them to other designs that you want to make. Before we get started, be sure that you're subscribed here on YouTube. That way you don't miss out on any of the fun, crafty content we have coming. Without further ado, let's get started. The first thing that we need to do to create this design is to download a font that I want to use, and I got this from this huge handwritten font bundle that I got from Design Bundles for their dollar deals, and I know which one I want to use, so I'm going to scroll down, and it's Lovely Yours. So I'm going to click on this, and what it's going to do is open my folder to ask me where I want to save this. Now for me, I have a fonts folder, so I'm going to save it in there and click Save. Now I simply just need to open this up, and what I want to do is I want to install this. So all I have to do is just simply click install, and it will put this on to my computer. Now what I need to do is head over to Cricut Design Space. Now if your Cricut Design Space was open when you installed this, you will need to close it and reopen it to refresh your font. In Cricut Design Space, all we do is press New Project, and I always recommend using blank canvas, and we'll click Start Designing. Now it's going to open up that silly little image thing. We can get rid of that. We might use some Cricut images for this, but just know you can do this with any image. The first thing that I want to do is I'm going to open up my text box. Now, you just saw what happened, right? I opened up my text box. It immediately closed. Been having that issue. I'm recording this in February of 2026, but if you have this issue, just click the text box again and it should open. I think some of the issue is that it is opening the layers panel and it just kind of freaks it out. I also found that if you just stick an image or you already have an image on your screen, it doesn't seem to do that as much. So just something to think about. Now we are going to use the word lucky, but I want to replace the U with a bow. So I am going to misspell this by leaving out the U, and I'm going to show you how to do this. So it's really easy to kind of add like different little images on to your fonts. Now I want to change my font first before I do anything else. So I'm going to go to System, and I'm just going to search for the first three letters of my font. And I'm going to use this one, Lovingly Yours, and go ahead and select that. Now, I do want to point out something with this font. Let me just edit this really quick. And if I type this all in capital letters, you get the sans serif font. So I actually want to go back and change that capital L to just a lowercase l so that it matches. Now, if your font's doing something like this where it is wrapping instead of just in a line, just expand your box out. It happens. Now what I want to do, I'm going to make this bigger so that we can really see it. So I want to add a few little things to this just to make this a little extra special. So what I need to do is I'm going to ungroup to my letters. So in order to do that, I just can click right here where it's ungroup, and that is going to ungroup to your letters. Or you can go to Edit, and you can do the ungroup letters if you go to select ungrouping. If I had multiple lines, I could do this, but I can just also ungroup to letters here. Over in your layers panel, you'll see that all your letters are now separate. Now I just want to move the CKY over just a little bit, and I'll just grab this L and scooch it over because we're going to put a little bow here in the middle because I just think it'll be cute. So what I want to do, I'm going to go to images. Now again, I can use images from anywhere if I want to upload a bow. But since we're already here in Design Space, I'm just going to use the Design Space one. Now you can use any design that you want, any style bow. I like this one. I think this one will work fine for what I want to do. So I'm just going to kind of size this down to fit within my letters. And I want the little tails of the bow to hang down a bit. So I'm going to just kind of adjust that. And then I just want to get the letters into that order where they look really nice. I think that's pretty cute. So what I can do from here is I'm going to go to combine and I'm going to unite them. That way, if I need to change anything or move anything around, I can easily do that. Now, I also am going to change this to green just because I think it will look cuter and it'll help me kind of visualize what I'm looking for. Now, the reason that we unite them is so that when this cuts, the bow and the C and the L here will all be cut as one piece. But I still want to add something else. I want to add a little shamrock. So let me look up a shamrock. And again, you can choose really any style that you want to, any design that you want to. You can really make this your own. You can do a 4-leaf one. You can do like the 3-leaf, whatever makes you happy. I think this one's pretty cute. So what I want to do, again, I'm going to size it down a bit. Now, I don't mind if it's going to be a little bit bigger, but what I'm kind of trying to do is if you see right here where the Y is and the shamrock stem, I kind of want to try to get those to be a little closer in size. So I'm going to zoom in a bit. I'll just kind of scroll over. And this way we can just make this so it looks like they're all one piece. Now you may need to move it around a little bit and adjust it and things like that. But I'm just trying to get this stem just so it doesn't look so much like it's hanging out of the Y, the letter, that letter. Now I can adjust its angle and things like that as well. So if I want to just angle it a little bit more, however I want to do this. And I'm just going to zoom back up so you can see the whole design. Now again, what I want to do, because I want this to all be cut as one single piece, is I'm going to select my entire design, go down to combine, and I want to unite this again. Now what you'll see is we have this full design that is all one single piece. This is so easy to do with any designs, any images, any fonts that you want to do. It's just a matter of knowing how to use the ungroup option and the unite option. Now from here, I'm going to size this down so that we can fit it onto our shirt. I'm just going to put this on like an adult large. So I think about 9.5 will be a good size. This is a pretty cute design, and you can again do this with any product that you want to. You could make this with a decal with vinyl. You could cut this with cardstock, HTV. You could use print and cut, whatever you want to do. But this is a fun way to kind of make your own little designs. Now, once I'm happy with that, I could also do something really fun where like, okay, maybe that's going to be the top. So let's do a little text on the bottom, and we'll do the other font so you can see the font duo, because I think font duos are super fun. So if we're going to do this, let's say we're going to make it say Lucky Charm. And I don't know if I love it right there, but it's cute. I think I maybe want to, but see, the bow is what throws me off. So this is where you're going to kind of play around with how you want this to be. Or you could do maybe up here, you could do feeling. And then you could instead make this a little bit bigger. So you just figure out what you want your design to say. I kind of like feeling lucky. Now, let's say we want to be a little bit fancy and maybe we want to do like rainbow letters. So we've got 7 letters, which is perfect to do a rainbow. If you want to do a rainbow of letters, obviously you're going to need to cut them in different HTV unless you have a rainbow HTV that you want to use, which they do exist. And I'll link some down below. But if I want to do every color, all I'm going to do is, again, use that ungroup option. And this time I'll use the one up here because it does the same thing. Then all I need to do is select each of my letters and change them to be the color that I want them to be. So I want to do Roy G. Biv. So we're going to do red, orange, yellow. We'll do green. And then we'll do blue. And then indigo, which technically is purple for this, and then we'll do a pink. So that'll kind of give you like the look of what this is going to go and look like. Now let's say, okay, we want to kind of preview this and see what it's going to look like on a shirt. And we're going to put this on a yellow shirt. Maybe we want to put this on an orange shirt. You can kind of play with this. Maybe we're going to put this on a black shirt. Whatever that case may be, you can play with this and figure out how you want this design to look. You can do whatever you want to do with this and have fun with it. Now, again, you can add rainbows or whatever the case may be. Now, I'm going to make this because I think it's really cute. I also want to show you another little trick. So since we did take all of the letters and ungroup them, if I want to move my design around and I click it, you'll see that I can only move like one thing at a time unless I remember to draw the box around it. Let me undo so everything's still where I want it. What you can do is select your entire design, and you can use this group option up here at the top. And what group does is it holds your entire design together. So now we're able to move this around and we won't be moving separate pieces. If we want to make any changes, you can just ungroup it. And let's say I want to make this a little bit bigger and I just want the letters. You'll notice here that if I draw around it, it's selecting everything because it's still touching part of the design. So what I can do is over here on the layers panel, I just hold shift on my computer and I click each of the letters. And then I can expand these a bit if maybe I want them a little bit bigger and maybe I want to put them a little higher over the feeling. Lucky, now I've got a little bit bigger of a feeling and I think that looks really cute. I think this is perfect. So what I want to do now, and this is an important step, I always want to save my projects before I hit the make button, just because if you hit make, sometimes it can kind of freak Design Space out and it doesn't always love when you make things, especially if it's got a lot of layers. So this is just a way that I like to do it so that just in case something happens, I'm good to go. Now we can hit make and we are going to have to cut quite a few mats. Or let me show you a little trick. So this is a great way to do this if you have like scraps. But say I don't want to load my mat 8 times because that seems insane. What I can do is use the grids on my mat to line up my colors. So I'm going to go to the red mat. I'm going to click on these 3 dots and I'm going to click Move Object. Now I'm able to select any of the mats here and I'm going to select the pink mat and click Confirm. Now it is going to change the color of your F to pink, but all you really need to do, and especially since we're doing 7 different letters, 7 different colors, should be easy to know what color to lay down. So I'm going to line up that F with the 3, and that way I know that when I go to put the HTV onto my mat, I just need one that's going to go in the corner here. That's just a little over an inch by like 2.5 inches. And then same with this one. And we'll do that for each of the colors. So all I'm going to do is just move object, select the pink mat and click confirm. Then you can just line it up. Now I do kind of prefer to leave a little bit of space between just so that you don't have to try to cut your HTV quite so perfect, but you're going to be able to fit everything onto this mat. So it's going to be a little bit easier to cut everything. It's going to take a little less time. You're even going to be able to move this to that mat as well. So if I go to move object, select this and click confirm, I can put this all the way down at the bottom and then I can do a line of green right here just to save me some time. I can also take this L and put it right on that same line of green. And that way I'm cutting everything at the same time. So you see over here, I've got my L. I can just simply put this right down here with the lucky, and I can do that for each of my letters. So let me finish this really quick and show you what our mat looks like when we're done. Now that I've got the mat ready to go, you'll see that I have all of my letters. I have the L, F, E, E, L, I, N, and G with the lucky. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut a piece of green that will fit in this space. Then I'm going to cut all the different colors, just small bits of them, so that they fit within the grid, and then I just line them up on the grid. And because we're doing different letters, it's going to be really easy to know which letter is which. Now, obviously the E's, one's one color, one's the other, so it's totally fine. Now when I hit continue, I'm going to select my base material, and for this I'm going to be using Everyday Iron-On. Now, if you wanted to do this in multiple types of iron-on, maybe you wanted to do like glitter for the lucky, you would have to have that as a separate mat, but I'm going to do this all in the same one. Now, this does automatically mirror your design. So what I want to show you is if you look at your mat, I'm going to click edit. It'll move everything, but I want you to note that you would want to check this because you'll notice that my L, for whatever reason, is like it's going to like not cut right. So I'm just going to move it over to this corner and it's totally fine. But you just can check this to make sure that everything stays where you want it to. Always double check when it mirrors because sometimes, especially if you've moved stuff, it might mirror it, but it might put something where you don't want it. This is also a great way to check and make sure that everything is lined up onto the grid lines where you need it to be before you cut everything. Then you can go ahead and click done, and we're going to go ahead and load the mat. I'll show you how to line everything up, get everything cut, weeded, and applied to your shirt. It's so cute, so fun. This is just a really easy way to save yourself some time when you're cutting a lot of colors. I've got my mat laid out with all the colors, so red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, and pink. Now the red and the orange, the green, and the blue, and the purple all show their color on the back of them, but for some reason the yellow and the pink don't, and it just has to do with the way the colors would show up on like a darker shirt. They'll tend to make the backs of them white. Now with HTV, you always want to make sure that you put them carrier sheet side down, so I went ahead and did that. I need to select my cut setting, which I'm going to cut these on the everyday vinyl setting. Now I just double check and make sure it looks like everything cut right where it was supposed to, which it did. So I'm going to go ahead and unload this mat. We're going to cut the next vinyl, which I'm going to be using some glitter HTV for this, and that I cut on the glitter iron-on setting, and it works perfectly. But all I'm going to do is just remove these from the mat. You can just see it's real simple. You just kind of peel them off, and then we can cut them down a little bit if we want to save the scrap. I don't see the reason, so we're going to go ahead and move on to the next cut. Now again, with the glitter iron-on, you want to make sure, and this is glitter HTV, the cut setting is iron-on because it's a Cricut setting, but this is Caesar glitter HTV. You want to lay it with the carrier sheet side down, so the glitter side down. We'll go ahead and get this cut out. I'll get everything weeded, and then I'm going to show you how to easily press this to your shirt. I've got my shirt. I'm going to do this on a white shirt. I just think it'll look good with the colors. And I know basically where the center of my design is because it should be the L in the word feeling. So we're going to just start with that. And this is why we're going to press this in a really fun way. So what I'm going to do first, I'm going to make sure that the carrier sheets on these are trimmed pretty close, at least along the bottom and like in certain spots, just like on the edge. And I'm going to find the center here. You want to go about 3 fingers down from the collar, and then I'm going to put the L down. Now, here's why we want to make sure that these carrier sheets are trimmed down a little bit, and this one really won't matter, but you want to make sure that they're not going to overlap with your other design, because you want to make sure that there's no carrier sheet under your next letter so that it won't press to the shirt. Now, getting them perfectly straight is not the easiest, but I'm pretty good at eyeballing, so I'm just going to eyeball it and pray for the best. But you can use things like rulers, tape, a laser level could help you too. So there's a lot of ways that you can get these super straight and even. But what I want to do is make sure that I even trim off the like lower section of the tape, because I want to make sure that it's not going to get under where the word lucky is, because we're going to keep that word lucky and we're going to put that on top. And you'll see we'll press everything at the same time. This is such a handy way to do this. And honestly, at the end for a second, I questioned which way it went, and then I realized it's literally the same both ways, so it's not a problem either direction, so it's fine if it's one way or the other. But right here, like where this eye is, you'll see if I put this too close, it'll like line up and it'll get too far under the carrier sheet. So I am going to trim a little carrier sheet off of this eye really quick, just so that it's not in the way of the end. So when you do it this way, it is a lot of trimming and fixing and getting it all in the right spot, but I do find that this works really well, and it is a fun way to line everything up. And like I said, if it's not perfect, nobody's gonna notice. You're gonna be wearing the shirt, and chances are you're gonna be a little inebriated while you're wearing it. Now technically, yeah, I think I need a little more space here. Because that I is a thin letter, it should have a little bit more space in it, because otherwise it's going to be really, really close. So I think I am going to scooch it a little bit, just so that we have a little more area. And this is where you kind of play with it and get it exactly how you want it. You get everything laid out the way you want it to be. There's not really a wrong way to do this. I'm going to move the N over a little, and I think I'm going to move the E over just a touch, just so we have a little more space. All right, I think that looks pretty all right. We're making progress. So like I said, I'm just going to sit here and line all of these up. I don't think you need to watch me line every single letter up, but I'm going to get these all lined up to where I'm happy, and then I'm going to show you how I'm going to put the glitter on top and hold everything in place, just so that nothing scooches around when we move the shirt. Now keep in mind that glitter HTV carrier sheet is not crazy sticky. So what I do recommend having is some heat tape, and that's gonna hold everything down a little bit better. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take some heat tape and place it on to all of my design here. I'm even gonna put it on to these letters just to hold everything down, because I just don't want anything to move since nothing is really attached to anything else. Once I've got that, now I'm gonna move this over to my heat press, and I'm gonna hold this up really quick, just see if I'm happy with it. I think it looks pretty good. I'm good with that. And so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna fold my shirt so that it kind of covers the design. It makes it easier to carry it over to your heat press if it's in this little ball versus if you're trying to carry it over like all open. It's gonna protect your design from getting messed up. So we'll go put it on the heat press and I'll show you how to press this. This is pressed at 315 degrees for 15 to 20 seconds. Now, all of these are warm peel products, meaning as soon as you're done pressing, you can peel them off. I will say sometimes the heat tape does tend to stay a little extra sticky, but we're gonna go ahead and get all of this peeled, and you can peel each of your letters here, and we'll just, maybe, there we go. And our shirt's all done. Now I'll give you guys a nice up close look at this. This is super cute. You're gonna be adorable for St. Patrick's Day. Here is the finished shirt. Now, like I said earlier, you can take the skills that you've learned here in this video with this design and turn those into your own designs, your own fun projects. Now, if you have any questions, please let me know in the comments down below. I'll also link everything that I used in the video's description so that you can find anything here that I used too. I hope that you all have a wonderful day. Don't forget to subscribe here on YouTube. And as always, happy crafting.